Good evening, everybody. This is the Thursday, March 7th, 2024 Planning Board meeting. This is the advertised time and the advertised place. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Good evening, everybody. Our first piece of business is a public hearing meeting. We're going to allow the public to speak first, and anybody that's at home on Zoom, Tracy will let us know, and they can also speak because it's a public hearing. With that being said, Greg Berman.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Greg Bergman, Senior Planner with the Town of Riverhead. The application you have before you tonight, which is the topic of this public hearing, is a 4-lot minor subdivision known as the Maris Farm Minor Subdivision. For the record, I will acknowledge receipt of the proof of mailings and the affidavit of posting on the property. The project site consists of a total of 27 acres, which is located on the northwest corner of Roanoke Avenue and Sound Avenue. 22 acres of the site, which front along Sound Avenue and Roanoke Avenue, were subject to the sale of development rights to Suffolk County, with the deed of development rights recorded on February 17th, 2017, with the Suffolk County Clerk in Liber 12901, page 13. It is important to note, and I will stress for both the knowledge of the board as well as members of the public, that the 22 acres which are subject to the deed of development rights will not be developed with any residential use. The sale of development rights allowed the property owner to retain full development rights on a 5-acre cutout on a tract of land located on the northeast corner of the subject property, which was specifically called out in that sale of development rights and is eligible to be developed pursuant to local zoning laws. The project site is split zoned, with approximately the first 400 feet of the property fronting on Sound Avenue being located in the Residence A80 zoning district, and the remainder of the northern portion of the property located in the Residence A40 zoning district. The proposed subdivision application seeks to divide that 5-acre portion of land with development rights intact and create 4 new residential building lots. All the lots within the proposed subdivision fully comply with the dimensional regulations of the RA40 zoning district in terms of lot size and the ability to meet the required zoning setbacks. The proposed subdivision is entirely as of right and requires no relief from the Zoning Board of Appeals as it fully complies with the town's zoning code and the requirements of the RA40 zoning district. For the records, the proposed lots in the subdivision, lot number 1 has a proposed size of 43,504 square feet. Lot 2 has a proposed size of 45,466 square feet. Lot 3 has a proposed size of 52,006 square feet. And Lot 4 has a proposed size of 76,836 square feet. The proposed residential lots will take access from a 20-foot wide private driveway and common access easement, which will serve access for all 4 lots, and that driveway will come off of Roanoke Avenue. As was recommended by planning staff early in the review of the application, lot number 1, which is the lot which fronts on Roanoke Avenue, will be prohibited from taking access from Roanoke and will take access from the common driveway. The project will extend the infrastructure of the Riverhead Water District, taking the main down from Linda Lane, and it will install a new fire hydrant within the cul-de-sac. An easement to the benefit of the Riverhead Water District will be placed over that common access driveway. Early in the review of the application, as the board will remember, planning staff recommended the retention of a vegetated area along the southern end of the subdivision boundary that borders the agricultural areas, as well as a portion of the boundary property that fronts on Roanoke Avenue. We have received comments from the Riverhead Fire Marshal, the Riverhead Highway Department, and the Planning Board's consulting engineer regarding the construction of the driveway. At this point, I will open the board if they have any questions, or we can open it to members of the public.
We can open it to the general public. Thanks, Greg. Mr. Cuddy?
I won't be repetitive. Greg has said just about all that can be said. I would point out that the water hearing was last Tuesday and is open to the end of next week. We expect the water to be approved. It's a very expensive addition. It's going to be over $300,000 to bring the water from Linda Lane West down to the site. The applicant, though, I think is willing to do one thing that Craig hadn't talked about. Along the lot number 4, which borders Linda Lane West properties, the applicants are willing to have the 20-foot buffer so that they'll keep a distance from the neighbors at that site. I think he said just about all that can be said, and we're here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Cuddy, can we do a buffer around all of the lots, a 20-foot buffer around all the lots? Just on the exterior of the lots?
We
It-
probably could. We hadn't looked at it, but certainly the one that borders the other properties would be
Yes,
significant.
yeah.
I don't know if it would make a difference to do that, but the other lots are a bit smaller, and I just,
They are
I
a
had-
bit
as a-
small, but
this is-
there are trees there, and if you save as many as you can,
well, I think as far as buffering goes is one thing, as far as saving the trees is another thing. I don't anticipate that the trees are going to be taken, a lot of them are going to be taken down. I think they will remain, but I've just hold in reserve doing that buffer because all those lots actually go to the farm area. So there isn't anything that they come up against.
well, I don't know if it goes all the way to the farm area. I think there's still some wooded area
Well,
between that.
you're concerned about keeping the wooded area, yes, that's not a problem, I understand, that's fine. Okay, thank you.
Anybody from the public like to speak? Sir? Just want to remind everybody, this is a public hearing, so you have to give your name and address for the record, please.
John McAuliffe, 64 Jean Court in Rolling Woods. So while I often speak, I have a very direct personal interest in this one, as I'm sure Mr. Dineski has too. This is our neighborhood. I think in the best of all possible worlds, we would love to keep the wooded area there. It's a loss of a nice buffer that protects the Rolling Wood area from Sound Avenue, from noise and from the atmosphere that can come from Sound Avenue. But, you could have said the same thing about the properties where our houses are now too. And I don't know what the balancing line is. I'm more concerned about the consequences of other projects in the future, like the resort area. But in this particular case, I think as much, it's not just, of course, the human beings, but the wildlife that inhabit that area that will be disrupted by this construction. It isn't entirely clear to me as I look at the maps what's happening to what is labeled as Lot 5. On one of the maps, some of that is shown as being part of the protected farmland. On another, it's not. But it would be helpful to have some assurance that nothing else is going into that area, because if you look, there is still something of a buffer and something of a wooded area. It's too hilly to be used for much agricultural purpose. So I just wanted to ask that you ascertain exactly what's happening on Lot 5. And otherwise, I don't think, it's, as I say,
Yeah.
in the best of all possible worlds, we would maintain a lot of woodland that gets lost, so.
Thank you.
Greg, do you want to answer that?
So Justin, if you can zoom in a little bit on this map on the table here. So, there we go. All right, so this line right here that I've highlighted in green, this is the boundary of the area that's being subdivided for the residential purposes. There is a line here which you can sort of make out, which that's the extent of the existing limit of woods. There is no proposed development right now on that, as this area is the area that's subject to the deed of development rights. In the future, if they wanted to farm it, I don't know if there's anything in the deed off the top of my head. I could research that for the board's knowledge, but there is no proposed development outside, to the south or west of this green line. So this would be the limits of the residential subdivision, no development in this area.
and the only legal development would be agriculture.
John, you have to speak from the microphone because it's a public hearing.
You're right, please.
And Greg, Lot 5 is the entire 22 acres.
Correct.
Right.
Lot, so yes, there is no residential development on lot number 5. That is subject to the Suffolk County deed of development rights. There is no residential development. The only thing they could do there is agriculture. To the extent, even if they wanted to put up farm structures, they would need to go to the Suffolk County Farmland Preservation, I believe it's the Farmland Preservation Board. They would need to get approval from Suffolk County, just as they did for when they went for the farm stand up on Sound Avenue. So there is no residential development on the agricultural lot.
Yeah, they do have another farm building in,
Yeah, there's
already
actually-
on the
there's-
far
there's
west
several. There's
side
a
of the property, so,
Greenhouse, animal shelter, so there are.
yeah, it's totally connected to the land, so that's not an issue. So, no, you've just said what my question was, so that land is, the only thing that can go in is farm, and as
That
I
is
said,
correct.
that's
Lot 5 in its entirety is a
great.
preserve.
All right, well, we appreciate the fact that we will still have something of a barrier, and the deer will be very happy. So,
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Connie Stelzer, and I am a resident at 48 Linda Lane West. It is my neighbor. I have been there for 50 years. I am one of the longest residing residents there because the people who originally came have now passed. This is the first I see of where the driveway is going to come in. Of course, it's going to be right behind this sump, which is right next to me. I am on a hill, and it goes up higher. So I do not think, and the gentleman who owns this property has the right to sell whatever he feels, long as we are going to still keep our natural animals, the deer, those goats, the geese, and all of that that we are so familiar with. There's nothing like Riverhead. I was born and raised here. My father was a farmer, and now my great-grandnephew runs that same piece of property. So my interest in Riverhead is very dear. When I come out of Rolling Woods, and that's another thing, the Rolling Woods, when we talked about the buffer, please, could we have some kind of distance so that we still have our beautiful oak trees and different things back there? We need our natural. We need all of our animals that we have and the birds and everything. Please, dear God, don't take down all those trees. So I am requesting and asking, you're the owner, aren't you, sir? Yes, I met you many, many years ago. I just request that perhaps you leave us with a nice buffer behind the sump, up behind my property, next to Phil and everything, and I don't know how Eddie's property goes back there, but to have something so we're not looking like a real community of houses. And I see these lots are very large, so I don't think we're going to find buyers who are going to be buying cheap property. I don't think that they will be affording a cheap house. So I think who we are going to be bringing into the neighborhood, we will welcome with open arms. But my only request is, please do not take down all the trees. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Connie. Well said. Next speaker? We got enough neighbors to have a block party here. Nobody wants to speak?
Yeah, hello. Hello.
We have somebody on.
Trying to come on Zoom? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? I'm trying to come in on Zoom. Hello.
Is anyone there?
Hello.
Yo, hi, Phil. We can hear you. Hi, Phyllis.
Okay.
More neighbors. Good neighbors.
My name is Phil Loria, and I live in 48 Linda Lane West. I'm Tony's neighbor.
Phil, if you could speak a little closer to the microphone, please.
I'll repeat what I said. I'm Phil Lorien. I live at 48 Linda Lane West. And this area, the lot number 4, building lot number 4, is pretty close to my property. And I'm okay with that, but I would request that we preserve the trees and have more of a buffer zone. We'd like to have, we're worried about the trees back there right now. The trees the beech trees are suffering from a disease, and we may be losing quite a few of those trees. So we feel that a buffer and would be beneficial to us and all our other neighbors that are concerned. We're looking for a healthy, well-wooded buffer, and we'd like to save as many trees as possible. If we can, I know you have the power to do that. If you can do that for us, we'd appreciate it. We'd like to preserve the environment, the trees, the animals. Rolling Woods that's the name, Rolling Woods. We'd like to keep as many woods as possible. My wife is here, she has something else to say. I'm going to put her on for a second.
No, I think he said it beautifully. We know that you have the power to require buffers, and we would ask you to use that power to protect the area to the greatest extent possible while this development is permitted and inevitable. It is Rolling Woods, as Connie said. We're now living in the house that she built 50 years ago. It's a neighborhood where people grow up and then return to live, and they live there because it's Rolling Woods, because of its beauty, because of its sense of community, its history. It's an important part of the character of Riverhead, and the trees are a part of that. And so we're asking you to use your authority and use it wisely and preserve as much of the woods as buffer, to have a healthy and a well-wooded buffer between our lots, which abut this particular lot, number 4, but also between those lots. Mr. Bergman mentioned that vegetation was going to be required, which we're happy to hear. I know between the lots and Roanoke, and between the lots and the agricultural area. So we're asking for similar consideration with our properties and between those properties, so that the character of the neighborhood, which is priceless, will be preserved. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to share our concerns with you. We have confidence in you, so thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Any other speakers? Yes?
Hi, my name is Brenda Kowalski. My husband Chet and I live on 60 South Drive. We are adjacent, we're at a dead end on South Drive in Muse Park, and we are butting right up to lot number 5. I just want to say we agree with the previous people that spoke wholeheartedly, and we would like that buffer as well. What we wanted to know, there is one question I had, what's the distance from the end of South Drive to that first lot, number 4, the distance heading east to west, or west to east rather, if anyone knows the distance.
Justin, if we can get the eye in the sky over here on the map. So from South Drive to the western end of lot number 4, it's approximately 290 feet, give or take.
Okay.
And again, so this line right here is the required setback, so you have 290 feet and then another 60 feet before any structure would be constructed.
I see, okay. Thank you for that. And as I said, we would prefer to keep the trees. We don't own the property, but we would prefer the natural environment and the animals, as previous speakers have said. The other question is, there is a gate at the end of our road that goes into his property, and we just wondered, you know, would there be anything in the future that's going to elongate South Drive and not make it a dead end? Is that going to be something in the future that, we don't know what the gate's for?
I certainly don't think there's going to be a road or a house on that property. There would be no reason to have a road. It's going to be farm, either cleared for farming or just left wooded, whatever the owner wants. But I don't think you'll ever see a road there.
Okay, that's good news.
But Brenda, the people who own the property do have the right to take maybe a tractor or something and to use that as a public road.
Okay, understood.
But there will never be any homes on that house.
Okay,
Maybe a farm building in the future if he decides to do that.
okay.
But he's already farming down, you know, further south, so.
And one more question. Initially, on the letter that we received, it said that it was to subdivide 2 existing parcels to create 4. So I just want to know what the 2 existing were, unless you covered that already. That wasn't clear to me.
So, this is something that typically happens, and it's sort of a byproduct of the sale of development rights to a property. When the deeds for the sale of development rights are recorded and they go to the county clerk and real property, it essentially creates an illegal subdivision. So these lots, so lot number 5 right now, the proposed subdivision, I believe, is lot number 6.1. This subdivision area right now exists as 6.2. So they are, right now, they're 2 separate parcels, but they were never legally created. It sort of happens when the deeds are recorded. This has happened many times. The planning board has kind of had to approve subdivisions after the fact where a farmer sells his development rights. He'll retain a lot for a residential home. An applicant will go to the health department to try to erect a house on that property, and the health department doesn't recognize it. So the 2 lots that exist right now, like I said, are 6.1, 6.2. 6.1 will be lot number 5 of the subdivision where the development rights are sold. So they're creating really 4 new residential lots. I do get it's a little confusing the way it's worded.
Could you kindly show me that again? What were the original 2, and what's the 4
So
now?
Justin, can we zoom out a little bit so I can see the whole map on the? All right, a little more. Keep going. Keep going. There we go. All right. So lot number 6.1 is the land where the development rights are sold. Lot number 6.2 is the tract where they're going to create the residential lots.
Okay,
And that, as I said, that sort of happens when they go to record the deeds with the county clerk. It essentially parcelizes the land. They're assigned new tax map numbers, even though it's not a legal subdivision at that point.
okay. So the 4 now are in 6.2?
4 now are in 6.2.
Okay. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you very much for letting me speak. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
Chairman, I just have one question. Mr. Cuddy, would your client consider, like you said, there's probably no need to have a buffer around all 4 lots, but would they consider a 30-foot buffer instead of 20 to make the residents in back happier?
That could be done, I think, at the very beginning.
Yeah, please.
And I understand that the 30-foot from west going east would run into the driveway, but then it would just stop.
That's what I'm about
Yeah,
to
there's a
say.
sump in that area. I don't think that's as big.
Can we zoom in, Justin?
But I don't think that's a problem. I do think that, as you just said, there's a 15-foot area as you come in initially where the sump is. But otherwise, I don't think that is a problem. I just wanted to add something that the woman was concerned about. What Craig was explaining, I think, was done quite well, but just to add to it, every time you have a development rights sale, the county tax people insist that there are 2 lots. And you have the lot that's developed and the lot that is development rights sold. And that's all that's happened here. And so that's why we wrote it the way we did.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
Move we close the hearing.
One second, Joe. I want to make a quick comment. Thank you. when you sit on a planning board, you get to decide things that are in people's backyards. It's not easy a lot of times. This one's in my backyard. My wife and I have enjoyed that view for 25 years, Connie, 50 years. But we took advantage of our neighbor's view. We looked at it, we didn't give him any compensation, we just enjoyed it. I do support his property rights. He pays taxes, he has the right to do 4 lots there, and I support it. I don't think any of the neighbors or myself would mind a buffer there, but I think it's going to be a nice project, and I thank you for the view for all the years I had it. So, Joe, now you can close.
I'll move we close Maris Farm hearing. I'll second.
Moved and seconded. May we have a vote, please? Mr. Zernicki?
Yes.
Mr. Nenaro?
Aye.
Mr. Bear?
Yes.
And I vote aye. The motion passes. Okay, moving along to discussion items. Greg Berman, Northville Acres minor subdivision. Tell us what you got, Greg.
All right, so for this application, I will ask Mike Kimack to come up to the table. He's the applicant's representative.
Good evening, Mike. Good evening.
All right. So this is an update on a subdivision application that the planning board first reviewed back in late 2022. It's the minor subdivision of Northville Acres. The subject property is located at 821 Northville Turnpike. When this application was initially submitted to the planning board, it was a 3-lot minor subdivision. The map is a little busy, so I will just sort of point out the areas on the map. This area, so that the board can easily identify it, and I showed it on your maps as well, that's a wetland that runs through the center of the property. It's a part of Sawmill Creek, just for easily identification. When the application was first submitted and reviewed, the applicant proposed a 3-lot minor subdivision. So this would have been lot number 1, which has an existing single-family residence and a detached garage on the property. And they were seeking approval to subdivide it and create 2 residential lots up here on the northern end of the property. When we coordinated SECR, we considered it an unlisted action. We did initiate SECR coordination back in late 2022. One of the agencies involved in the review and approval was the Town of Riverhead Conservation Advisory Council. When this application came to the Riverhead Conservation Advisory Council, the CAC essentially said that they wouldn't approve the intensity of development on the northern lot because of the proximity both to the wetlands here, and there is also a wetland to the north of the property. So they're essentially a little section of dry land between 2 wetlands. So after a couple of meetings with the CAC and some discussion, CAC said they would approve a 2-lot subdivision. So the applicant has revised the map, so it is a 2-lot subdivision now. The dividing line would be right down the center of the wetlands. The setbacks, you know, and the development would take place 100 feet minimum from the wetland areas. The development, when they make an application to construct a residence, would require further review and approvals from the CAC and DEC approval for any grading within the jurisdictional areas. So what we have before us now is essentially a 2-lot minor subdivision. Would create 1 new residential lot on the north end with the potential to build 1 new single-family residence.
Is that blue line the 100-foot line, or is it just the
No,
wetland?
so the 100-foot line is, let me see, I've got so this is the 100-foot DEC jurisdictional line. So the area in blue is the location of the wetland. This buffer here, this area, that's the 100-foot New York State DEC jurisdictional area. And then the CAC would be another 50 feet beyond that. So we have, based on the review, We do have a resolution on to assume lead agency and issue a negative declaration for the revised two-lot subdivision map, as well as a resolution to schedule a public hearing on the application.
Just a little history on the property. Just north of there was Dempkin's Duck Farm. Just east of there was Flippin's Pig Farm. That was my stomping ground as a kid, so I know it well. That's it.
I'm
sure that this
it's
property
lot number-
has quite a rich
I guess
history
it's
to it.
lot number 2. It's got that long driveway.
Correct.
How far is that from Northville Turnpike intersection?
So this entire stretch is about 500 feet, so I mean,
Yeah.
the gravel driveway, oh wait, from the intersection of 58 and
Oh,
Oh, 500 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's significant ways away.
it's quite a ways.
But yeah, the length of the driveway would probably be about 300 feet, give or take.
Okay.
Anything else, board members?
Nope. I'm just looking forward to someone cleaning that area up and doing a nice job with that.
I deal a lot with DEC, I deal a lot with the town of Riverhead, and I've always found it to be a very reasonable approach. We did work this through, we did try to get an additional lot, it was more intense, obviously.
Right, right.
It did theoretically meet the 40,000 square foot, but at the same time, the CAC felt that the sensitivity of the area did not justify that second lot, so we came in with just 2 lots.
Half a loaf.
Half a loaf is better than none.
Anything else, gentlemen?
No, I'm good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks.
Okay, the next discussion item is the Terra Vita Winery and Vineyard Residence Tasting Room conversion with Greg Berman.
We do have Arthur Rast here, and I believe we have Greg Goodale as well, who's the owner of the property, if they'd like to come up and join the discussion.
Good evening, board. Good evening.
All right. Just for the records, if you guys could introduce yourself.
Arthur Rast with Sandusky Architects.
Greg Goodell, owner of Terra Vita Winery and of the said 250 Manor Lane property.
Thank you. So what we have is a site plan application which is seeking approval to convert an existing single-family residence which is located on the same property as a vineyard and wine tasting room. They're looking to convert the existing single-family residence into additional tasting room space as well as a small retail wine sales to-go area. The application also proposes additional parking to facilitate the proposed expansion. Regarding SECRA, it's a type 2 action as it involves construction or expansion of accessory or primary non-residential structure involving less than 4,000 square feet, so there's no further environmental review required. Subject property is located in the agricultural protection zone where agricultural production is a permitted use as well as farm operations, meaning the processing of agricultural products and the marketing and sale. Just for the board's knowledge, this site was originally developed with a single-family residence. The owner at the time came in before the Riverhead Town Board in 2005 and got site plan approval. Justin, if we could zoom in just a little bit here. 2005, the town board granted site plan approval to construct the wine tasting room. There is about 1 acre of grapes planted on the property, and the single-family residence at the time was retained for residential use. So the wine tasting room and the vineyard operation is a legal use within the APZ zoning district. I did note that the garage on the neighboring property is currently where the wine is produced, and as I understand, that's pursuant to the farm winery's license. In order to facilitate the additional parking required by the change of use, the site plan does propose a row of 13 parking stalls along the south side of the access driveway. I did note on page 3 of the staff report, during peak hours, this is essentially where people are parking anyway right now. I do just recommend the installation of wheel stops, whether they're railroad ties or some sort of block, to just sort of identify and physically delineate the stalls.
Is it pavement now or stone?
It's grass. It's grass.
Okay.
Yeah, the area to the south of the driveway is currently grass. So any lighting on the site needs to just be brought into compliance with the dark skies code. We did receive comments from the Riverhead Fire Marshal. They just noted that fire apparatus access must be maintained, which the applicant is proposing no parking fire zone along here, so that way in the event of an emergency, they have access to the property. I did refer the application to the Riverhead Water District. They stated that the conversion of the residential use to a commercial use will require the installation of an RPZ. So it's recommended the applicant begin the application process with the Water District. Conversion of the residence to the commercial tasting room space will require approval from the Health Department prior to the issuance of building permit. And just one note, they will need to provide some ADA accessibility, which they are proposing, an ADA accessible handicap ramp. So they will need to, that will be required. Beyond that, I mean, in the scope of the application, it's not a significant conversion. It's not a new structure. It already exists.
Essentially change of use.
Essentially a change of use, yeah. I mean,
The residence now, is someone living there in the
No.
house? No, okay.
It's vacant.
Gonna make line right there?
In the barn on 260, which we own 260 and 270.
Stainless or oak?
Both.
Both?
Yes. 2023 whites are available.
Did you bring samples?
Greg, how many extra stalls, parking stalls?
so right now they have about 11 parking stalls here. They're going to propose a row of 13 stalls along the south side of that driveway, and they could fit 2 additional stalls in front of the existing tasting room. So 15 additional parking stalls on site, which will help during peak hours. Ultimately, if people have to park on the lawn here during a busy season, there's no prohibition currently with parking on Manor Road. It consistently happens through other
And it's
at other
pervious.
sites throughout town. So, not a significant conversion.
Greg, how many acres of grapes do you have to supply, and not just here, but
Yeah.
I know
Well, this year we have about 5, and then we're planting an additional 5 acres. So at the end of 2024, we'll have about 9 to 10 acres of grapes.
Okay, and all your wine is from your own grapes right presently?
Yeah, I mean, we have in the past bought a few tons
But
to an
you
open
can
market,
buy
but
ag
my
and
goal
markets
is
allowed
to
to.
grow, harvest, ferment, and bottle and consume all on site.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Good luck.
Good luck.
At this time, we invite public comments on resolutions. Anybody?
I'll move resolution 2024-019, Lally Osard minor subdivision. So moved.
Second,
Moved in second. May we have a vote, please? Mr. Zolnicki?
yes.
Mr. Nenaro?
Aye.
Mr. Bear?
Yes?
And I vote yes. The motion carries.
24,
Before
20.
before you guys vote on 20, I will just acknowledge for the record the amendment that was made earlier this afternoon. I apologize, I did not get the update on the website. There was a minor change to the language in number 1 of the resolve relating to the stormwater pollution prevention language. That was reviewed by the town attorney's office and signed off on.
Thank you.
2024-020, Gershaw Recycling of Riverhead. Resolution granting site plan approval for the Gershaw Recycling of Riverhead.
Second?
Moved in second. May we have a vote, please? Mr. Zolnicki?
Yes.
Mr. Nenaro?
Aye.
Mr. Bear?
Yes?
And I vote yes. The motion carries.
Okay, I'll move resolution number 21, which grants administrative approval for Lucharo's Restaurant.
Second,
Moved and seconded. May we have a vote, please? Mr. Zolnicki?
yes.
Mr. Nenaro?
Aye.
Mr. Bear?
Yes?
And I vote aye. The motion carries. And I'd just like to wish them, this is Lucharitos, wish them a lot of luck because they do a lot of wonderful things where they go, and hope the town supports them in every way they can.
Resolution 2024-022, Northville Acres Minor Subdivision, SECRA, resolution to assume lead agency.
Second?
Moved and seconded. May we have a vote, please? Mr. Zolnicki?
Yes.
Mr. Nenaro? Mr. Bear?
Yes?
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
I'll move resolution 23, Northville Acres minor subdivision, schedule a public hearing.
Second.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, may I have a vote, please? Mr. Zilnicki?
Yes.
Mr. Nenaro?
Aye.
Mr. Bear?
Yes.
And I vote aye, the motion carries.
Resolution 2024-024, 1309 OCR Automotive Dealership, resolution granting preliminary site plan approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded, may we have a vote, please? Mr. Zilnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Nenaro?
Aye.
Mr. Bear?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries.
I'll move resolution number 24, grants preliminary approval for the site plan of OCR. Was that the one we just did, right? I'm sorry.
Number 7.
Gotta go to 25.
Okay. I'm sorry.
All right.
Yes, I'll move resolution number 25. And that schedules that is type 2, and a public hearing for the Tetra Winery.
Second.
Moved and seconded, may we have a vote, please? Mr. Zilnicki?
Yes.
Mr. Nenaro? Mr. Bear?
Yes.
And I vote aye, the motion carries. Thank you, everybody. At this time, we invite public comments on all matters. Wow, no takers?
I'll move the meetings of February 1st. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll
Any
move
other business, staff?
We have February 15th. We have 15th. February 15th, our public. We did the first,
Oh, okay,
we have the 15th.
okay.
And I'll move, I'll move the minutes of February 15th.
We don't have them on the agenda.
It's on the agenda. Meeting of minutes of the board, February 1, 2025, and February 15, 2025.
Okay, not on mine, but that's fine.
Not on mine either.
No.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, the motion carries.
Number 7, early version.
Staff, any business that we should know about, correspondence? Our next meeting date is Thursday, March 21st at 3 p.m. Hope you can all be there. Thank you, everybody. Motion to close.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Good job, staff, as usual.